you don't belong. And that's the way it is for me. Italy not going to the World Cup, not surprised.
Welcome back to Scoreline. Italy were trying to avoid disaster and missing their third consecutive World Cup. Really, truly unheard of for a four-time world champion. They were taking on Bosnia and Herzegovina. And in penalties, Bosnia have advanced to the 2026 World Cup. Italy out yet again. I'm still in shock here, Ian, but this is a truly historic occasion. Bosnia, good for them, but for Italy, this is you have to say, an absolute disaster.
First and foremost, I don't want to focus on Italy. I want to focus on Bosnia. I'm very happy for my former teammate, Sergei Barbares, who just got Bosnia to a World Cup. That is unbelievable. I can only imagine you people in St. Louis and around the United States of America who are Bosnian are absolutely, unbelievably excited about the World Cup coming to North America and you get to see your nation. I mean, that's incredible. So well done to Bosnia, well done to Sergei Barbares, really remarkable. Obviously helped with the red card situation as well. Bastoni picking up a silly, silly red card in a situation where he probably shouldn't have done. But actually the story will not be about Bosnia reaching North America. It won't be. It will be about Italy getting knocked out of the World Cup, or at least not making it to another World Cup for the third consecutive time. It's never happened before for a former winner of the competition. I just can't quite believe it for Italian fans out there. There's so many of them obviously involved in our network, but we also see around the United States of America, pretty much in every single state, you have Italians who have been glued to the television, looking to see what their nation was going to do, and Gattuso and team couldn't get it done. And it was the red card that probably let them down the most. I would also say their finishing in front of goal let them down. They had a great opportunity with Moise Kean's opening goal. Great finish from him. He had an opportunity to make it 2-0 and missed it. Then he was taken off, so we have to question the decision from Gattuso to take him off. There'll be so many questions asked by Italian fans and the journalists, the media. They'll be going crazy. But to me, this is a big disappointment for Italian football, for the future of Italian football, for the development of Italian football, for the investment in Italian football. An absolute nightmare. But to Bosnia, wow. What an unbelievable achievement. Well done to them. It's absolutely fantastic to see for such a small nation to be able to achieve what they've just done, knocking out Italy from qualification to a World Cup and get to a World Cup. That is fabulous, and they're in a good group as well.
Yeah, they've made now 2 of the last 3 World Cups, Bosnia. It really is an incredible story. And we continue on just with Italy because I know that we want to talk about both of these sides, really. But for Italy, this is 3 in a row. And losing in the semifinals the first 2 times to Sweden and to North Macedonia, that'll obviously be so much pain. But then to get to the final again and have the opportunity again to get to the World Cup and to come up just short to Bosnia, you have to talk about what this means for Italian football. You have an entire generation now that have yet to see Italy in a World Cup. What does this do? They already talk about a lot of youth football. They're having issues developing players. What does this do now when you have a whole generation that has yet to see Italy in a World Cup?
Yeah, it's crazy to think it's been so long since seeing an Italian national team in a World Cup. It's absolutely unbelievable. The investment needs to be, in my personal opinion, there from the federation. The investment needs to be from the league. That's what needs to rejuvenate itself. In my personal opinion, and obviously we cover Serie A week in and week out, it's a fabulous league to watch. But there are a lot of foreigners who are playing in Serie A right now and having a lot of success that are stopping a lot of the youngsters from getting experience and playing their game. The Italians are not creating enough talent. They're simply not. Now, I can tell you from personal experience, I was in Germany, went to Hamburg, just at that project reboot time. That's reboot. And the investment that went into every single Bundesliga club, every one of them were involved in the rejuvenation of the German national team, which then resulted in talent coming through and also the German national team going on to win a World Cup in 2014. So, to me, my personal opinion, I think the Italian Federation, the Italian League, the Italian players, the Italian coaches, all associations across the board need to have a long, hard look at themselves. Sponsorship needs to come in. Money needs to come in from the billionaires who are living inside that country to be able to fund all of this so that the Italians can produce talent once again that can be competitive. And let's just put this straight. They're in this position being knocked out by Bosnia because they conceded 7 goals against Norway. Yep. They lost both games against Norway. They had an opportunity. At one point, it was in Italy's hands to qualify. They conceded 7 goals over 2 games. They don't belong. Simply said, you just lost to Bosnia. You don't belong. And that's the way it is for me. Italy not going to the World Cup, not surprised.
They don't deserve it if you can't get it done in several opportunities that they have. Let's focus in on the game itself today, because I think that some of the things that we saw, Italy go up 1-0, a fantastic goal by Moise Kean. He misses an opportunity that would have put them up 2-0, maybe would have changed the game. The red card comes. And then Gattuso makes some interesting decisions that I think we need to talk about. Moise Kean gets taken off, gets subbed off from this match. He's really the only attacker with pace. And if they're going to have opportunities on the break, maybe you want your pace there. Pio Esposito, a youngster with a lot of talent that has a future, comes on, and he is tasked with taking the first penalty for Italy in the shootout, and he misses. You have to imagine that Gattuso is going to get some shtick for that. Where else do you look at that this went wrong for them in this specific match?
I mean, Bastoni's decision to make a challenge like that in a game like this, of this magnitude, is crazy. I mean, you go down with a player so early on in this game. Such a disappointment for such a leader, for such a true leader along that back line. I mean, Italy are no longer the defensive masters of our game. At one point, Italy had the best defenders in world football. Full stop. They were absolutely unbelievable. But this is a completely different generation that we're watching right now that can't get it done. Their best player, in my personal opinion, is probably DiMarco.
Or Gigi Donnarumma.
I just think that they are a team right now that are hoping to qualify rather than actually believing. Gattuso sort of brought energy and fire when he was appointed. I love to see that. And he sort of rejuvenated some sort of belief. They got themselves some victories. They were in a group that they should have won. Yeah. You were in with Norway. No offense to any Norwegian fan out there, because Norway have put together a real rejuvenation. Their federation, 4 years ago, were pretty poor. And even through the Euros qualification, very poor, because they were in Scotland's group. So I remember watching every single game. I was disappointed. And they have Erling Haaland. But this time around, they have produced an unbelievable campaign that took care of business against Italy. But Italy need to have a long, strong look at themselves. Gattuso on the sidelines, and obviously some legends alongside him. I know, I understand it. Buffon standing there, Bonucci standing there. That is one way to get you over the finish line, by passion, but you need talent. And this Italian group just doesn't have the talent. You can't just rely on Moise Kean. You just can't. Great finish from him for his goal. Brilliant goal. Took advantage of a mistake that Bosnia made by a very poor decision from their goalkeeper, Vlasil. However, he had an opportunity to make it 2-0. And this is where the difference comes for me. I understand we'll go through the substitution and why Esposito came on at that time when Moise Kean probably should have stayed on the field. He's probably the more dangerous and quicker player when you're playing counter-attacking football. But at the same time, Moise Kean had an opportunity. He had his chance to win it. If it was 2-0, I didn't see any chance for Bosnia coming back regardless. So as far as I'm concerned, Italy deserved to be out. The story's not about Italy, by the way. It will be for the media, for the journalists, for the internet, social media, for everybody. It'll be about Italy, but it shouldn't be. It should be about Bosnia.
And that's where I want to go next, because this Bosnia side, it truly is incredible to see in 2026. And Dzeko still on the pitch, is scoring goals in the semifinal as well. I mean, just fantastic stuff. And the story, I think this is as sad as you can be for Italian fans, or Italian fans obviously are going to be feeling this one today. The story, it really is a Cinderella story for Bosnia, and you have to give them credit, because from where this nation has been, the things that they've been through, to arrive here at their second World Cup in the last 3 is a special thing.
I mean, it's brilliant. It really is. The story's remarkable. Achieving World Cup is so special for a nation like Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's great for their supporters. I know there's a lot of Bosnians who are probably watching this around the United States of America, especially in St. Louis, where I met many of you. This is still a very talented group, and they had a real great reaction. Tabakovic's goal, obviously, 11 minutes before the end of the game, was huge. I thought they were going to score a second goal before the 90 minutes were up. Italy defended well. I thought Donnarumma played very well for Italy. He actually kept them in the tie. But they've got quality, obviously, defensively as well. Vlasil, the goalkeeper, is a little bit weak. The St. Pauli goalkeeper, he made a mistake again. Probably shouldn't have done that one. But I want to point out there, I'm very happy for Dzeko getting to a World Cup. I'm very happy for Dzeko for the words that he's put out there, and his performance and his experience that he's shared with this group. But there's one player, Stefano, that stood out to me above everyone else on that pitch, and it was Barak Terovic. Yeah. What a performance.
Incredible.
Player of the match performance. He could have been pulling on a United States jersey.
Yes, he could have.
And he's going to a World Cup with Bosnia and Herzegovina. I mean, what a performance from him. He was absolutely brilliant. In creation, putting balls in, trying to unlock that defence that was so locked in. Every single time, not frightened of the ball, wanted the ball. Yeah. Quality performance. Former New England Revolution, obviously. but just the guy's performing now in the Eredivisie, and he has taken his game to the next level. As a 21-year-old, he stood up by a mile for me.
A historic day, for sure, for Bosnia, as well as a tragic day for Italian football, as they are going to be missing their third consecutive World Cup. Bosnia to the World Cup.